Yo, welcome back. Module 2. Your mind is like a GPS. What do you mean by that, Miles? What do you mean by that? All right, so right now, whatever. Well, hold on. If you're driving, do not do this, please. Okay, don't do this. Do not do this if you're driving. But if you're in a safe place where you can actually stop and look around and close your eyes, you're not cutting grass. Don't cut a grass. Don't be holding weed whacker, and then you just start doing this. Don't please don't do that. Listen, if you're in a place right now where you can actually sit down and just look around real quick, then do this exercise. So the exercise basically is, if you look around right now, look around the room and tell me how many things that you see that are red. The other thing is, just tell me how many things you see. Is it one thing? Is it two things? Is it three things? Is it four things? Okay, stop. Now, how many things did you see that were they red? Okay. Now, without looking around or anything, how many things did you see that were brown? Now, the reason why you might have trouble seeing this is because you literally were not looking for it. So, like, why would you even pay attention to anything that was brown? Well, the same thing happens with the RAS system. So there's a thing, if you haven't heard of it, it's called the Reticular Activating System. Now, same thing happens, to give you another example, just for proof. If you've ever bought in a car, it's the simplest one to do it. I think it's called red car theory also. But basically, if you've bought in a car before, all of a sudden, the day that you buy the car, right, you're driving around in your new car, like within that week, you see like everybody decided to buy the car. You're like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? I thought I was like, dude, I thought I only knew like a handful of people. It was like 2 or 3 people I've ever seen with this car. Now it's everywhere. Well, the reason is because your mind, the RAS system specifically, picks and chooses what's important to you, so it makes sure to find it. So like if you come out of a store, you need to know where your car's at, so like you can just scan it, and you'll find your car. And there's a whole bunch of things we can get into. Another thing too, so that's part of the RAS system. But about the GPS part, have you ever been like at work or at your house? And let's say if you were, or if you go somewhere, because a lot of people that are watching this, some people work online. So if you go somewhere, maybe to drop off your kids at school, or just, go to the gym. If you drive to a gym, have you ever got in the car and then just all of a sudden you're where you want to be, and you don't even remember driving there? Has that happened to you? I know it's happened to me. It's happened to me plenty of times. It's usually on my way to the store, on my way back, going to the gym. I'm just like, damn, I can't believe I'm already here. The reason is because that's literally, you're on autopilot. You've done it so many times that you don't even need to think about it. Your subconscious takes over, and you just get there. And that's just a proof of how, like, the inner part of us, like the subconscious part of us, actually works. So now that you know how this stuff works, how could you use it to your advantage? It's a great question. Great question. So the reason why it's important and understand how this stuff works, if you already know that your mind focuses on whatever it is you're thinking about or whatever is important to you, what do you think happens if you're focusing on anything negative? You're probably going to get more negative stuff, right? Like, just based off of what I said about the red car theory, about seeing your car and then buying it and all of a sudden it's everywhere. You literally seek and you'll find. Literally. You will find more stuff because that's what your mind is telling. You're telling your mind that you're looking for. So that's why if you hear somebody complaining, they always have something to complain about. Versus if you see somebody that should be complaining, but they're not complaining, they're like, yeah, man, life could be worse. It's pretty freaking, it's amazing right now. I'm not where I want to be at, but dude, so many small things are taken. It's because that they're actually looking at the small things. And so what the universe or God's doing, giving them small things because they're showing gratitude, they're showing appreciation for the little stuff that they do have. So they start racking it up. And all of a sudden, these people get lucky, and they're just coincidence after coincidence after coincidence. But it's because they've been literally manifesting this stuff into their life. So this is why it's important to even understand what this is and how you can actually use it. So if this is you and you've been negative, and all you're doing is thinking about negative stuff with why me, why me, why me, you have to change the thinking. You have to, the goal would be just literally to if you have one of those goals, it's going to be challenging just to even bring the awareness to it, because you've been doing this so long, you know. So, but it's very possible, and you can do it. It's going to be easier once you, like, you have to put like I have seen people put alarms every 15-20 minutes, literally just a reminder, just to tell them, like, hey, the RAS system, what are you focusing on? And, or like little messages they'll put every 15 minutes. But it's because they've been so programmed to think negatively. And what ends up happening is they start picking up another algorithm. They start rewiring what I had here earlier for that last module. They start rewiring your brain. And so, like Joe Dispenza says, neurons that fire together wire together. So, for the exercise, we're going to discover the value beneath your why. What does that mean, Miles? What does that mean? Well, what it means for you guys is, let's say you want $1 million, right? Let's say I'd ask you, like, hey, what's one of your goals? You're like, oh, I want $1 million. Okay. Why do you want the $1 million? And you're like, well, I want a house. I want a car. I want a Lambo, you know? And so the reason why we're doing this exercise is because we're going to peel back the onion, and the onion being your why. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask, well, what would that do for you? What will the $1 million do for you? Oh, I'll be able to buy a car. Well, what would that do for you? And basically we're doing it 7 times. And what you'll come to find out is it'll literally stem back to your childhood. Now, this person may want $1 million because he just wants to feel secure. He wants to feel safe. He wants to feel like freedom. You know how we had talked about in the last module. And so that's literally why this person thinks that they need $1 million to actually get those feelings. So the $1 million isn't about the money. It's about the feeling that he's going to have whenever he gets this certain thing. And so once you figure out the value of why you're doing a certain thing, whenever stuff gets hard, because stuff will get hard, it has to get hard because you have to grow. The mind's like a rubber band, right? And what happens is, I heard this with Jocko. He said, what we do in the SEALs is basically we stretch out the mind as much as we can, like a rubber band. And when it can't stretch no more, we let them go back. And I guess like during butt training, SEAL training, he said what we do is we stretch out as much as we can during the day, and then we let them go back and let them rest. The next day we do the same thing over again. We stretch it a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And what they're trying to do is they're just trying to level you up, because you can take more than what you can. And the really cool thing about this is, once you figure out, like I said, the value behind this stuff, is that stuff right there will take you to the next level if you let it, and if you choose to do the work. It's one thing about knowing it, it's another thing about doing it. And so what I'm going to do now, if you watch this video all the way to the end, if you do the work and you do the exercise, have the exercise ready, send me a message that you did the exercise. And what I'll do is I'll send you a link to my calendar, and we can book a 30-minute call. And I want to go over the exercise with you. This is how important it is to me. I want to go over this exercise with you, and I really want to see where you're at, where you're trying to go. I want to hear about your goals, and but I only want to do this stuff with the people who actually want to put in the work. I got a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of us, not just in the group, but there's a lot of us, period. And I don't really want to pour into an empty cup. I want to pour into a cup that's getting poured into. You know what I mean? So if this is you and you do this, can't wait to hear from you, and I will talk to you soon.